Welcome back, everyone, to Multifamily Deals and Dollars. And I am here, of course, with Kiran Kaur. I am Jim Lawrence, and we're thrilled to be here this week. Thank you for having us in your lives, and it's great seeing you this week, Kiran. Welcome.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Jim. And that's really, really amazing. I love to see you every Tuesday. We're doing the podcast and talking, and our audience. I think they're also thrilled to see us and listen to us. And if there's anything they can use in their life and making a change, and I think I will be really happy if we are able to bring more income to their life. And yeah.
No, you know what? I think this is our sixth or seventh episode of Multifamily Deals and Dollars. And what we've been going through, if you haven't been watching already, is we've been discussing some of the tools and strategies and the, negotiations and what software we use for real estate investing and all this sort of stuff that's made our life journey a little bit easier in this
Mhm.
new world of real estate investing, which we've been on for a few years now. And Kieran is in BC. I'm in Ontario, just outside of the GTA, and it's we've met knew each other a little bit over the past couple of years, but really got to know each other in the past year, and our spouses, and we've had a really great time meeting each other. So it's been a great thing about the journey, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, Kieran. Is that we're going to talk about the pain and the pleasure. And the pain, sometimes we have to realize what our pain is in life in order to understand the direction we want to go to and seek that pleasure.
You're right. I agree. And the other thing is, there's few habits, we all have, and they have a big impact on our life. The one thing I'm really, want to talk about is a gratification. So when we want something immediately, we want to buy something immediately. We want to get that thing, and it's we get emotional and we make them wrong decisions, and that impact us. um for example, I was looking at other people buying really nice houses, and they were like always decorated, like it was all white, and the furniture was all like really, really nice. And they were like, I was working full time, and I wanted to get what they had, right? And I was spending my time and my energy to buy that stuff, and to buy that bigger house, and to buy um technically buy liabilities, right? Like I drove a Range Rover, and we saw, like, all these movie stars, talking about these big, cars and expensive. And I feel like all this stuff is good, like, we all want to enjoy life. And but the only thing is, when we think about, I want this now immediately, and we make, that's not the right time, right? So first we need to build our assets, and then we can buy stuff. We can all, like, we can buy all this stuff, right? And what was happening for me was, I came to Canada as an immigrant, and we I worked on like on $5, $8, and you can think about how much was my, after paying taxes, how much money I was getting. And the food, the quality of food I was eating, and the place where I was living. Once I got into a job, and I thought about all those things I can buy, and I have a good credit history, I can buy. I want this now. I don't want to buy when I'm older. But I did not think about that. I need to, instead of working and buying that stuff, like, exchanging my time for money and buying that stuff, what I can do is delay, and then bring that, being, have enough capital, so that it comes from my passive income. It comes from the cash flow. I did not have that knowledge, so I spent 10 years of my life going through the pain of being living a life buying all these liabilities, like spending my time at at the stores. Like it's a consumerism, right? Like you see stuff online, they're like your ads are coming up, and now like all the ads are coming up as real estate. So earlier it was all, whatever you are interested, ads are gonna come up on that, right? Like you're looking at the sign, and I was spending my time at majority of my time was spent at like Home Sense and Marshalls and Winners and all those big Costco, and like hours and hours. I did not value my time. I did not think about that, what my yearly goal is, what my 5-year goal is. I was just going to work and paying bills to Costco, paying to IKEA, and paying all this, and that's it. That was my life. And then it caught me up, right? And once I thought about like how I'm going to stop doing this, and once I want to get relaxed, right, I want my time off, and that was not coming from the job. So yeah.
Well, I completely understand and can completely relate as well. A consumer mindset is so easy to fall into. And we get to see everything with these oohs and ahs and how other people are living and the types of things that they have. And I've even seen it recently in some new people that have entered my life. And I remember somebody just talking to me about, I don't know how much the wallet was, but it was like a $500 or $800 man's wallet. And I
Wow.
was thinking, as much as you and I have learned about a consumer mindset and an investor mindset and the difference between them, and I didn't want to go into that conversation with him, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, one day I have to explain this and like open up this person's mind to what they could be doing with their money and how they could be moving forward. Big time. These guys could be doing so much more with their money. So completely understand. It's the things that we want and need. What do we want? What do we need? And those are the types of things that and it's tough. That's a mindset shift. I mean, that's not going to
Mhm.
happen overnight, but you really have to kind of slow back on your habits, because where are they getting you? I know some people, they just love to spend because um that's like medicine for
Bring
them.
happiness.
Yeah. And it was
Right, like
very
when we buy something, and then like other thing, like as a woman I can understand, like being a shopaholic is a disease, right? Like people buying so much stuff from Temu, Amazon, stuff we don't even need.
oh,
I like we are feeling like what's happening is like the houses are being filled with the stuff, and like that's a liability, right? And the same thing, for example, you try to sell that stuff, you're not even going to get half of that product value. And same with the car. So the funny story, so I can relate to my life. So when we bought a Range Rover, I was in Saskatoon, and we spent like about I think it was $36,000, and the same amount of money we spent for a like duplex. And so that after 5 years we got our car paid off, and then value depreciated, and then I got into accident, and we got I think only $10,000 back. And so on the other side, for the duplex we bought with the same amount of money, and we were able to leverage like for more than $500,000 loan. And that property's value is now, we bought for 560, and that property is more than 700K in same amount of time frame, and that is also giving us $2,000 cash flow per month. So I feel now I have the cash flow. I can buy any car I want, right? I can buy any stuff I want. The only thing was me understanding the immediate gratification, right? So we can all buy all these liabilities. We can all go to fancy restaurants. So we can all buy fancy cars and live in a really nice fancy big house. The only thing is invest first, and then consume, right? So I think that our society has shown us that that's what we need to do, like being buy this and buy this, and that's what people do. And right, like buy bigger toys for your kids. And but this needs to we need to remember that people, like, I'm not saying like all those stuff is bad, but only think about majority of people, 96% of the population, they generate income and then they consume, then they spend money, right? Like for example, when we bought a house, and it's like really nice, for we could have bought like a rental property and live on one side. So anyways, I did not know that, right? So we bought a house and my mortgage payments were high, and I was spending most of my time at work at my job, and I was only coming to sleep. And it's just slowly, like the new object syndrome. Like when you buy something new, it looks really good, you feel good, and you justify that why you spend money. But after some time, that shiny things kind of weirds off, right? Then you think about what the heck I am doing, right? Like why I'm hardly at home, I'm hardly enjoying that high, like expensive car. It's only taking me to work, and then I could have spent less. Why I am what I'm doing with my time and energy, right? Like I can spend on travel, I can spend more time with my kids creating memories rather than spending my time to pay off that stuff, right, which I don't even enjoy. So like that was me. And once I now with the big, like with shift in my mindset, now I focus more on buying assets first, like delaying, and then buying liabilities, then enjoying, because now we have the time to enjoy those objects, that stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in the bank for 15 years, Kiran, and debt is the devil. I've seen debt ruin families, debt ruin people's lives, relationships. It can be scary, and there's not a lot of education around on banking and handling debt and how to do things. The bank easily loves to throw credit at people at a high interest rate, and it's really tough. Like look at the fees you're paying, look at the over limit fees that they're paying, the interest rates and all that, and the annual fees sometimes on there. Are there benefits to credit? Sometimes, yes, there absolutely is. One, you have to build a credit. You have to build credit history. There's points and there's travel benefits and all those types of things. Maybe travel insurance and lost baggage insurance and all those types of things. But you got to make sure that the credit card's working for you. You're not working for the credit card. You're not working for the bank.
Yes.
That you're using those points and you're racking them up, but you're not paying interest on them. That is the thing that's going to sink you. So look at your spending habits. And there's a lot of apps out there. I know, TD had I think a My Spend app, and it monitors you. You connect it to your TD app, your TD banking accounts, and it tells you how much you're spending, what you're spending it on. It breaks it down into categories, and you can start looking at things like, holy crow, entertainment. Last month we spent, this portion of our income. You know, that's a huge wake up call.
I agree. And the other thing is banks, right? Bank is a business. So they charge 20% interest on credit cards, and they give back us 1% on savings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think it's like I just don't know why it did not click, to me earlier. But I think it's just like I feel like, Jim, people are like, including myself, we caught up with the daily work, like going to job and coming up with income to pay our housing, pay for the food, and there's very little time left for ourselves to think about money, think about all this like a real estate, and think about what can we change in our life, what can we do to have a live a life of our dreams, right? And big thing is coming believing in yourself that you deserve that year-long vacation. You deserve your time. I believe in we only live once. Our kids deserve our undivided attention. Our parents deserve our time, and we deserve quality, like food, not not thinking about when we go to the grocery stores, rather than spending money on the quality food because it's expensive, buying a junk food because it's gonna caught up.
Oh,
Like health is really really important, and I see people struggling, like being a healthcare professional, I see people struggling with all those conditions, buying cheap food, and just it takes a toll on your health. Yeah.
and it takes a toll on your mental health too. So,
Mhm.
your eating habits and the type of food that you're eating affects up here, and then you're going,
Mhm.
it's a downward spiral. So you really need to take care of yourself because there's a lot of people that count on you, and a lot of people that want to be around you. So you really need to do the best for yourself because life is better when you take care of yourself. Now,
Yes.
some of the other pain that people experience, Kieran. I mean, we've got high interest rates, so we were talking about finances and debt. I mean, a lot of people are being called back to the office. Return to office is a thing now, and there's a lot of anxiety over that as well. People realized a lot of the freedom that they had during the COVID and staying at home, and now businesses are trying to get their employees back 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and eventually back to 5 days a week. I don't know if it's going to happen because there's such a pushback right now because people realize this life work balance and that they can do their job at home. So there's a lot of anxiety there. There's a lot of pain.
I agree. And the other thing is, there's a big shift coming in the market. I don't know if everybody's paying attention. There are automatic, AI, and then there is also robots coming. So most of the jobs will be replaced with the machines. So we need to think about, how can we make ourselves like not getting replaced by a machine. So you know coming up with the jobs, or like all those accounting, or anything that you can think about. If a machine can do it, we should not ignore the fact that it's all about profits. And all those companies, if they can replace employees benefits, and those taxes, those hours, and also like the people get tired after working, like machines never get tired, right? Like one machine can do work of so many employees. So this is a big profit. I have seen in, like, I think everybody has seen in a major shift in the market, in today's economy, that people getting jobs getting replaced by machines and like computers, and there are only few jobs like the skills people have. So please don't only rely on one source of income, and having another source of income that pay, and that we should really focus on. Yeah.
I was for all of you watching, I was going to say, don't let Karen, scare you. We're not trying to put fear in you. But then I was thinking, maybe a little fear is good. Maybe a little scare is good. Maybe that motivates you because it's looking for an opportunity. So what's going to happen? Maybe your job is one of the ones that are going to be targeted first for AI to take over, robotics to take over. So what can you do? So it's about looking and thinking outside the box and figuring it out. I mean, there's lots of communities and lots of groups. I mean, Kieran and I are in real estate investing. There's a ton of groups. You can learn from us if you want to. Reach out to Kieran and I. We will help you, guide you as best we can to and if we can't, we will certainly send you off to an area or group that can help you better. But this is all about making our lives better for ourselves, for our families, and for the families that come after us. And that's really the goal.
I agree. And having a control over life, right? Not relying. So there's another thing happened in my life was like, like I working as a healthcare professional. When you work as a travel nurse, you make almost a double. So like anybody under a health region, so it's all open, so anybody can look up how much any person makes. Yeah. So hourly rate for nurses, so I started with like $36 and now it's like 54. And when you work as a travel nurse throughout Canada, the rate is about 100 or like 105, and it was $130 per hour when you work in another province and on a travel assignment, like living away from your family and working as independent contractor or as employee for the agency. What happened was the government looked at how much health regions are spending on all those agencies and travel nurses, and they cut back now from I don't know exact month. I think it's May or June. They have told the health regions that they're not going to fund giving them extra funding or for the travel assignment. So they need to create more jobs, full-time jobs. And now it's really hard to get any contract throughout the country. There are some, because some of the rural areas will have travel nursing assignments, but what's happening is over relying on one source of income that I can spend, I can make money, I can make like $10,000 in a month working as a travel nurse or more. And I can pay my expensive car. I can buy 100K, like 50, 60K, really like a fancy car, and I can make those payments. I can buy bigger house. I can buy, bigger stuff. I can just spend like big, money on vacations. And now what's happening is those assignments are gone. So never rely on one source of income. And I think being in a position that we have more control over income and having multiple source of income is always good. I've been through the pain. I've been through really, really hard time in my life. And I wish somebody would have just slapped on my face and told me, what the heck are you doing here? And, this is not you should be doing, and like educated me, right? Like once I got into Wealth Genius, and I saw all those big investors, all the investors making, just transforming life, and people who've been through a similar kind of a pain in their life, and how they have changed, life of so many people, and they have now more time and financial freedom, and being not relying on my, I think one source of income, which was my nursing job. And I think I'm really, really, glad that I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I want some pain to resonate with the viewers here. I want you to realize what, things you're missing out on life, whether it's travel, whether it's, when you're getting home, your kids are already asleep, and when you're waking up and going to work, your kids are still in bed. You're not having that quality time with your family. Relationships can be falling apart because you're struggling. You're either taking on too much debt or working too hard for somebody else. The goal is that, I mean, reality is that we want our freedom. We want our freedom, we want our time, and we want to be with the people that we love, because that makes us happy, right? So these are
Yes.
things that you really want to focus on in life. What's important to you? What's your pain? Let that pain drive you away from the pain over and find your pleasure.
Yes, I agree. And the other thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with working full time. There's nothing wrong with working overtime, but have a control over your life. Don't get money or job control you. You control your life, right? Like, make money work for you rather than working for the money. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people, for people watching, you enjoy your job, it gives you satisfaction. Stick with it. Stick with it for a little bit. Look into real estate investing. Look into some types of different avenues of income. And what you might learn is that this avenue opens up a whole new opportunity, and where you can maybe walk away then from your 9 to 5 job where you're working for somebody else, and you can take your skill set, and your entrepreneurial mind is now opened up, and that you've been exposed to so many great people because now you're part of these networks and these communities, and you might put your skills and the everything that you've learned in that job and apply it and start working for yourself in another. Now you've got maybe real estate investing working for you. Now you've got your entrepreneurship journey working for you, making money. So there's a lot of other opportunities where you can, sure, maybe you're still working 40-hour weeks, but you're working 40-hour weeks, maybe in the comfort of your own home. You can walk your dog on your lunch break or go pick up your kids halfway through your day shift. And you don't have to answer to anybody. And you're still making great money and you're learning and you're with great people. And the one thing that I've learned is that, and many people have said this to me, Karen, and I'm not sure, but in a corporate world, a lot of people just have this type, their blinders on, and it's not really about helping other people grow. You might find that once, one or two people in a community, in a corporation, but everybody's trying to climb that ladder. So they got to get there first because there's only one couple spots at the top. There's not room for all of you on the ladder. Well, in this community of entrepreneurs and real estate investors and things like that, everybody's so helping and giving. There's lots of room. This ladder is huge. It's a whole wall of a ladder. Everybody can climb this together
Make your own ladder.
and make your own and take other people and take a whole new group with you as well.
Yes.
Show them the way that you've been shown. So yeah, no, it's a wonderful,
Right.
wonderful thing.
I agree. Yeah, thank you so much. And the other thing is, what I did, I love working as a nurse. I love working, making a difference in, people's health, and being being able to, enjoy the time with my kids, and being able to take a time off, and having working whenever I want. I think that's really big, that big change that has happened in my life. I think anybody can do it. And if I want to work, like, as a healthcare professional, you can work 365 days, if you want to work, but it's all about, and I think when I'm working more overtime, when I was working more overtime and thinking that I want to work for the money, I need to pay bills, I was getting grumpy, and it was affecting, it affects you. And now being more, like, you're fresh, you're not exhausted, and you're being able to give more quality care. And I agree, like, when I see people, like, there's so many physicians I work with, like, and they are also part of big real estate, investments. They have, like, 30-unit buildings, and, like, they enjoy doing both. And by the only thing is, if we are doing only one thing, one source of income, and there's no exit, the exit is only that retirement at age 65. It's a very long time. And some people who have not even seen, like, there was one story, I think, of a lady that she died just before her retirement. And I said, oh my God, like, like, she must be hoping, like, all those time off and being able to travel and everything after retirement. And, like, who has seen, like, we don't know. I don't know if if I will be living, like, next 5 years, but being able to do what I want to do, make maximum use of my time. It's now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and when I was working, and I bring this up to anybody. I mean, you know, your companies, all the companies that I was working for, they would always say, well, this is the total compensation. So you're getting paid the salary, sure, but there's so much more. We give you your benefits, we give pension, we give blah blah blah, and all this sort of other types of incentives. And that is your total compensation package. That's really what you should be looking at. The employer tells you, well, okay, employer, but look at what you're not telling me is that it takes me about an hour to get ready for work in the morning. It takes me about an hour, and it costs me to get to work every morning. It costs me to get home and takes me time to get home every morning. And so now instead of working an 8-hour shift, 9-hour shift, you really got 10, 11 hours in the day. And how many people bring work home with them? That stress is on your mind. You're supposed to be sitting down with dinner, with your family and your friends, and you're talking about it. All you got is the stress. This is the things. It's bringing back freedom. I was in a zone where I didn't expand much out of my mind, right? It was just work up the ladder at the bank and things like that. And I thought, oh, travel, I don't need to travel that much. We enjoy camping. Canada's big enough. I'm happy just seeing Canada. And here I am in my mid 40s, and I'm like, I now want to see the world. I want to explore and travel more and see more. So that's one of our goals now, is that we're trying to, we're saving up and doing these types of trips. And when you're an entrepreneur, you learn that you can do these trips in a tax efficient way as well. Maybe stay tuned for that one. We might have to have a guest, a professional that can help us out with that one, Kieran.
Agree. And then I think the trip is more enjoyable when it comes from your passive income rather than your active income. Because when it comes from the active income, you have to, create your more active again, like, exchange your time for money and then enjoy the trips, right? Like you guys have done investments, and I'm sure, compared to taking the trips from, saving the job, like that money, it's hard. Like
Yeah.
I could not save money from my hour, like a bi-weekly paycheck. All was going to my expenses, and I don't know how and that expenses were all those liabilities I bought, and and the other thing was my was the taxes. Like as a business person, you are able to write off your anything that creates the income, but as an employee, you're not able to write off anything that makes you create that income. For example, you need a car to go to work. When you're employee, you're not able to write off, because and the same thing is, so you need to live in a house so that you can go to work, right? So you're not able to write off. And when you're a business owner, when you are under a corporation, and you can write off your office space and other things, like accountants really make a big difference. And this is just like all about what and how are you going to act on it. Yeah.
And you know what? It's a great point, Kieran. You know, a lot of people want a car. I mean, as much as municipalities are trying to get away from them and introducing bus lanes and all these sort of things and bike lanes, people still want cars. And if you have a car, there's gas, car payment, insurance. Insurance is going to be going up a lot, a lot. Trust me, with all the car thefts in Canada that we're having as well. But the one thing
Right.
people don't think about, and because people are holding on to their cars a lot longer now because of interest rates and affordability reasons, that your car isn't going to be covered under warranty. So you need to pay for the repairs that are coming up for those cars. And people don't really put those into consideration. You don't have a savings account for your car repairs. So when you have that car in a tax preferred situation, which when you have a corporation or something like that and you're an entrepreneur, you can have that under that umbrella. There's a lot of benefits for you in terms of affordability with that vehicle. So think about this and definitely talk to a professional to understand more.
I agree. And then like the funny story, like when I came and I bought like wallets and stuff, like like from brands, and I didn't have money in that in that handbag. But now I said to myself, I'm not only going to buy stuff for its purpose. I'm going to buy properties because properties are supposed to be bought for tenants and to create income. And if any property doesn't create income, I'm not gonna buy. Same thing is wallet is to store the credit cards. I'm gonna buy more credit cards. And just something like I just bought this like from Value Village $2 wallet, and then I have the credit cards and line of credits that are like 6 digit. So I'm more happy than buying that branded wallet with no income and not income, I mean like no cash in it, because all was spent in that thing. So there's nothing wrong with buying older stuff and used stuff, and it's like it's all like stuff needs to be bought for its purpose, not to show off. And yeah, so
Nobody ever sees my wallet. Like I don't even want to see my wallet. I'd rather just have all digital cards. But yeah, my wallet is from Costco. It has an insert in it, and when my wallet gets floppy and old, I throw it out and I use the insert for the next few years. So yeah, my wallets last forever. I don't have the George Costanza wallet. I have a very thin wallet. I don't want any paper in there. But that's
Right.
that, everyone. I think we nailed it. It's about taking yourself from Pain Island and taking a beautiful voyage over to Pleasure Island, where everything is much better and you're with better people and you have better energy and you're loving life. That's the
And,
goal.
yes, I agree. And we've been through the really hard time in our life, and being a being immigrant and being a mother and a busy healthcare professional and having no knowledge in real estate, like investors like Jim, and meeting people and educating myself. I think that's the best decision of my life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't say it better. Well, thank you so much, Karen. Thank you everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And reach out anytime. You know how to find Karen and I all over social media. So it's wonderful. Have a beautiful week, and please reach out.
Okay, thank you.